this is Jim with Jim's Garage Toys, and I've noticed over the last couple of weeks quite a few people actually asking how easy was it to do an oil change on a Corolla or Scion IM. I have a 2017 Corolla IM and it's due for an oil change, so I figured I might as well do a video just to show those people that have questions about it what's involved. It's pretty straightforward. The only trick on this car is it does have a aerodynamic panel underneath the car, so you have to remove either the whole thing, which isn't hard but takes a few more minutes, or there's 3 little clips that pop out to remove the flap or bend the flap down to have access to the filter and drain. I've gathered my oil. This car takes 4.4 quarts of oil when you change the filter also. So I've got a new filter. I use Mobil 1, whatever oil that you prefer, but it does call for synthetic oil. I've had great luck with it over the decades, so I've stuck with it for the most part. And I use the OEM filter. One caveat that I will point out though, that on these filters, I never run these filters more than 5,000 miles. So if you like to do a 10,000 mile oil change, I would recommend either changing the filter at 5,000 or using a synthetic oil filter that's designed to go 10,000 miles. Toyota makes one under their TRD brand, and you can get them through Mobil 1 and a few other brands that make them. So just keep that in mind depending on what you like to do for your oil changes. So a couple things you'll need is a 14mm wrench or socket to remove the drain bolt. You have your wrench here. I use that one just in case I have to use it with my oil filter cap to remove that if I can't get it off by hand. And then underneath, for the clips that remove the fastener, they're just little plastic clips. There's actually a little cutout on each one, and you can get a small flathead screwdriver into that. They pop down and they pull out with your fingers. Super, super simple to do. And don't forget, every time you do this, change your oil plug gasket. So I pick these up in a 10-pack from Toyota, and that way I always have plenty so on hand. And that's it. So what you'll want to do is before you even start any of this, get the car up on jacks, jack stands, or on ramps. I have a set of race ramps. Great for anybody that has lowered their car. They're super long and a shallow rise, so that you can generally get any car up on them. So, and you have that, and we'll be ready to go. So the first thing I do is I crack the oil cap just so air can flow, and we'll get started. Okay, I've already removed the 3 fittings that hold the cover. So thought I'd show you a quick close-up. So you can see how there's a little flat area in each one. That's where you can stick your flathead screwdriver in and pop it loose. And then this will pop out like that, and you can just pull them out. Very, very simple. So, see if I can show you what this looks like. So, here you see the flap right here. So, and like I said, there's 3 of them. So there's one on each side, and there's one on the back, and that just holds up like that normally. And then what we want to do is we just bend that back, pull it back, and we have access to, let's see if I can put some light on the subject here. There's our filter and our drain bolt. So I have a spin-on filter. If you do have a 2016 IM, you might have the canister, and that is similar. You just screw off the canister and you replace the filter inside of it with a new gasket. So very simple. So get your drain pan in place. I typically will place it there. I use it to actually hold the cover back. I got a little friend trying to crash my party here. And so that way it's out of the way. So now I'll go ahead and loosen the drain bolt, let it start draining, and we'll take the filter off and replace that, and then we can fasten this part back up. So we loosen the drain bolt and remove that. As you can see, the oil's draining out. So now we'll go ahead and remove the oil filter. So, just to give you an idea, so there's got the cap on it, the oil filter cap with the socket, wrench, and just an easy way to get it started to loosen it. So, go ahead and spin that off. Once you get it started, then it's easy to spin off by hand. So in this case, when I cleaned off pulled it out to look at it, you can see there's no gasket on it. So the old gasket is still on the oil pan. So you want to make sure that you remove that. If not, if you sandwich two gaskets, you're going to get an oil leak. So what I do in that case, so what I do is I just take this flathead screwdriver and I scrape right where the drain plug goes, right where this goes, and it's just stuck to it, and then it'll pop off. So, and I just did that. It popped off. It fell into the pan that I have the oil draining into. So you have your drain plug. I've wiped that off. Here's a new gasket. So that just simply slips right over it, and that's ready to get bolted back in. So on your filter, I'm going to open that up. So set that aside. This has a little plastic cover on it. They do put a little bit of lubricant on there of some sort, but the tried and true fail-safe is to go ahead and open up a can of your oil, dip finger in, get a little bit on there, and then just spread a little film of oil around that gasket. That will prevent it from leaking once you've seated it up there. So, okay, so that is set. And once it's done dripping underneath, we'll go ahead and screw this back on. So once it makes contact, about 3/4 of a turn by hand, past that, and that's good. And then I thread this back on. There are torque specs for this. This does not have to be that tight. I've always just done it by feel, and I've never had a problem. So I snug it down. I don't wrench it down super tight. It doesn't take much for that gasket to seat, and I've never had one drip or leak on me. So we'll go ahead and do that once we're done dripping from underneath. So I just went under to check any oil coming out of the oil filter position has stopped dripping, so we could go ahead and put that on. And we got a little bit of a drip. There's a little bit of residual oil in the pan, but we'll let that keep dripping for a few minutes. So we'll take our freshly prepped, well, maybe not, hang on, couldn't reach my rag. So what I always do is I take a clean rag and I wipe the seating surface for the oil filter. So you can see that there. Take it and thread it on. And spin that on. Once it seats, I'll turn it about 3/4. There we go. And the oil filter's on. We'll go ahead and see if I can reach the drain plug. There's that. And I do the same thing to the drain plug. I just kind of wipe the place where it sits. Tight. Okay, so oil filter is on, the drain bolt's back on. So try to do that and hold the camera. Just a tough angle, so but just thread it on, snug it up, or you can look up the torque specs for it if you want to be particular about it. So then I'll just slide my container out of the way. Now this just goes right back up like that with the 3 clips. So we'll go ahead and start putting those in. Need 2 hands to do this. Just push it through and push the clip closed. Here's the clips. So there's one of them right there. There's another one right there. There's another one right over. Where's it? Right there. So that's the 3 that hold that panel on. It's very simple. When I'm actually not trying to record it, this takes me literally about 15 minutes to do an oil change. So it'll take me longer to drive down and have somebody else do it. So now that we got the new oil filter on, drain plug put back in, and the cover snapped on, we're actually done underneath the car. So now it's just a simple process of adding our oil. So get yourself a funnel, makes it a lot neater just in case you spill some. And then, like I said, it takes 4.4 quarts, so you're going to have about a half a quart left in one of your jugs, or if you're using a 5-quart jug that it also comes in, then you'll have about half of a quart left in there. So, and if I'm using those, then I'll just recombine them, or I'll pour them back into one of these. I do keep a quart of oil in every car in the trunk, just kind of as a just in case thing, so especially on a road trip. But so we'll go ahead and pour those in, put the cap back on, and we're good to go. So here we go. Quart number 1. Let's pour it in there. And I let it sit for just a minute just to drain everything out of it. So but we'll do that. I'll continue with 3 more, and then I'll add a half of one of them, and we'll be good to go. And then once this is done, I'll start it, I'll check it. I just look for leaks just to make sure nothing's leaking into there. And I'm not worried about it so much, but I always just take a quick peek. And oil change is done. So I hope this helps any new owners that might not have ever done an oil change on the car again. It's not worth having other people do it for you. It's so easy and quick to do, and you can do it for a lot less money. I mean, I picked up 6 quarts of these for $27, $28, something like that. A lot of times I'll pick up a 5-quart container for $22, $23 on sale at Walmart. So there's just no reason. A filter is $4. So you can do this for roughly $25 to $30. Remember, you're going to have a little bit of leftover oil, and do it yourself. Get to know your car and have some fun in your garage. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'll do something down the road that will help some other folks. Thank you for watching.